Fundamentally, SoulStream is a community, a dispersed contemplative community. Remember our mission statement? Mm-hmm. To nurture contemplative experience with Christ, leading to inner freedom and loving service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
SoulStream fosters a hope and an experience of gathering together with others and creating a sense of belonging where we can be supported in our lives of contemplation.
When we started it, I had no idea it was even going to become an organization. You know, I just thought it would be a few people that get together and help each other out a bit and, you know, encourage each other. So to see that happen and to see it begin to even go further, I have no idea what it's going to become, but I'm thrilled at what is happening.
It's really quite a remarkable what's happened here. I think it's and the word grace is really about all you can use.
To live a life of prayer, I knew I needed a community, and I needed a particular kind of community. And it was very clear to me that the little group of people that included, you know, Steve and Jeff and Joy and Jean and Sue and Tony and Karen and Doug, this was a community that was like that. That's just who they are. And so that's why it's what you know when you join a group of people and they ask you about yourself and they listen. You know, there's all kinds of tiny signs that I think I now take for granted because I'm surrounded by people like that in my life. But to me, at that time, it was an enormous relief. And it felt like coming home, which is a phrase we hear from participants in our programs all the time. This feels like home. I feel like I've come home. So I think there's multi-layers to what that means to people, but to me it meant things like welcome, being accepted as you are, and these people know your faults. And there's laughter, and there's, you know, sharing of meals and a glass of wine, and there's some kind of work to do together.
Over a period of time, people who were finishing the Art of Spiritual Direction were saying, "You're going to leave us now?" after we finish this course and there's nothing else. And I still remember that moment when we were driving.
Me too. I can almost identify the fence post. This idea suddenly was articulated.
Yeah, that it's not about the course.
Yeah.
No.
That it's something bigger than that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the great gifts you've always given to SoulStream, Steve, is that one of the characteristics of SoulStream is to experience God's love in the midst of our frailty and our brokenness and our vulnerability. And you modeled that so profoundly from day one, and that's probably partly why the pastors wanted to meet with you, because they not only did they receive spiritual direction, but they knew you as a person. They knew that you didn't have it all together, and that God was still at work in your life, and you could respond to love and offer love.
And I think that's why it was such a battle for me to even begin this, is because I realized, Steve, you're such a broken person. How in the world is God ever going to use you? And what would ever make him want to use you? But I just realized as I was doing this, okay, I'll just have to be honest and real with these people, and no matter what. And because that's the only way I can be. I have to be who I am, and God will deal with whatever he wants to out of that, even if it's a mess.
Yeah, that wisdom is so echoed. When I think back over all these years of teaching, every cohort has said, individuals in each group of students has said, what really attracts me to SoulStream is the facilitators' love and care for each other.
Personality-wise, God has been merciful to us in terms of getting along with each other.
It's been amazing. Because there's been
Karen looks at me.
There's been much grace shown me.
Or me.
All of
That's
us.
one of the things that's been beautiful for me is to realize that we haven't had personality conflicts and there's nobody who's trying to be the big leader.
Yeah.
So nobody's pushing for the top.
Yeah.
We all just want to be together.
Yeah.
And that's huge for me.
SoulStream is I guess it's a opportunity to explore the contemplative life. It's an opportunity to learn about heart faith rather than head faith. All the things that have benefited the people that have gone through the courses are there for everybody, and it can change people's lives in real ways.
There was something almost exhilarating, like what's going to happen? How is this going to work out? And when we realized there was, besides spiritual direction one-on-one, the classes, I thought, wow, that's beautiful.
Well, it feels like it's opening up, spreading out, and everybody seems to be doing their part. And it's just lovely to see a dispersed community that's connected together. Yeah.
That's a really hard thing, a dispersed community. Well, if you live it in a house, then you're engaged all the time, and you can have struggles, but at least you're engaged directly with each other. But when you're dispersed, so one person lives in Prince George pretty much by himself. Like, how does he belong to this community? So it takes work to actually continue to deepen the connectedness.
I think something that was that sort of caught me off guard, but really was what I was hoping for, was that there would be a place where I could be completely honest, where I didn't have to put on a face that I had it all together, that there would be room for questions, that there would be room for tears, without someone trying to fix me.
I don't trust God easily. I find it difficult because I like to control things and manage things myself and make sure that everything's happening the way I want it to happen. And trusting God to work this thing out has just been a real challenge for me.
My hope for SoulStream would be that it would remain organic, that it wouldn't become institutional, but that it would hold a framework through which people can still discover and encounter Jesus deeply, through which to live life deeply and honestly and vulnerably. Sort of just more of where we've been. It's so hard to know, we don't have this 5 or 10 year business plan. We're not striving to reach something, but we deeply want others to encounter God.
God is alive and working in love in your life, never failing. And all we need to do together is to support each other in listening, because God wants to be known as loving and leading towards wholeness in the direction of love and reconciliation. That's what I would like people to know about God, and that SoulStream is only wanting to make the space and support each other in watching for that God of loving action.
Often the contemplative journey, especially when you're still part of a different faith community, another faith community, a lot of people don't understand this. And so it is a way of just continuing to be nurtured in what's growing in them, the freedom that is growing in them. That God is growing in them. It's a place where they can be supported. It's a beautiful thing.